All Blacks and Wallabies. Third Bledisloe game where the cup was on the line. And the All Blacks have retained it with a 43-5 win. Now that is a bit of a hiding. I will go over some of the key points of the game. I've literally just finished watching it. Some of the stats. And you guys can let me know your thoughts on the game as well. Hell of a performance from the All Blacks, but man, the Wallabies at times were bloody disappointing in this one. Honestly. The hands especially were poor, and when the All Blacks get turnover ball, man, they can be clinical and they can be brutal. It started off pretty ominously. I should say the Wallabies were wearing a pretty slick indigenous kit. I mean, similar to that one I got hanging there, but it's a dark green version. So the color scheme would be kind of inverted with the patterns being the gold. And it didn't clash with the black jersey, which was really nice. It's a pity the performance levels didn't match the jersey, to be honest. Daugunu gets yellow carded early. He tackles Caleb Clark in the air. You thought maybe Sam Cane had slightly pushed Daugunu off his run, but still, Daugunu's got to own that one. Yellow card, I think, is a fair result. And only a few minutes later, Carl Tuinukuafe gets the first try of the game on 7 minutes. So the All Blacks capitalising on the extra man. Bro, they had like 4 or 5 extra guys on overlap. And Tuinukuafe is lucky he scored that because he took it to the line. He had a bit of white line fever. And he managed to get the ball down. I think it was Alalato who was trying to stop him. He carried. He should have passed. Honestly, there was multiple guys outside him. But he went over for the try, so congratulations to him. Gets a try. And, they had a big overlap. Essentially, it all came from them having a penalty. They turned down 3. They had a maul. They were told to use it. And they ended up getting a big overlap when they went back blindside. And, so 7 points to 0. And they managed to score 7 points during that yellow card before they lost the man advantage. Now, they lost the man advantage before the yellow card expired for Daugunu because Geordie Barrett gets yellow carded. He goes into he's carrying the ball and he gets yellow carded, which is an unusual one, but it does happen from time to time when guys try to fend with their forearm, try to bump people off and you get it too high. His forearm rides up kind of down Halipedi around the throat. So, he gets yellow carded about halfway through Daugunu's yellow card. So you got maybe 5 minutes where it's 14 on 14, and then 5 minutes where the Wallabies have got a man advantage. Wallabies can get no points during that man advantage time. In fact, like Dane Coles, when it's 14 on 14, he goes bloody close to a try. From a kick through, he's racing with Nick White, and I would have thought Dane Coles shouldn't be the guy getting to the ball first, but he is. He tries to ground the ball one-handed. My first couple of looks, I was like, bro, that's a try. Easy. Some people in the live stream have better eyes than me. They're like, nah, it's not a try. And there was one camera angle which showed, he didn't get it down. So fair call again from the TMO. Wallabies kind of get out of jail. Because to be fair, they're under all kinds of pressure. The first, I don't know how long, it's just all the All Blacks. Maybe first half an hour. Virtually. Caleb Clark also gets an almost try on 13 minutes. All the talk was about him, but he didn't really get that much opportunity to impress like he did in the other game. So maybe that kind of hype will die down a bit, which is good. Take a bit of the spotlight off him, and he can go about developing his own game. It's an on-field no try because he's put into touch from memory. Either way, it's back down the blind side, and the All Blacks seemingly quite often would change direction back the way they had come, and they were getting pretty good pay that way. Actually, it was maybe something they've seen about the way the Wallabies defend, trying to get backs onto slow forwards. But either way, it was, I think, Korobidi with the try-saving tackle on Caleb Clark for that one. It ends up being a 22 dropout. So the Wallabies get out of jail. Geordie Barrett comes back on. There's a bit of a kicking duel between both the sides, but yellow card period for the Wallabies. Man advantage, as I said, ends. They don't get no pay from it. So Still only 7-0. And to be fair, the Wallabies would be, at that point, pretty happy with 7-0 because, as I said, it was all down the Wallabies' end. Even when they had the man advantage, they were still under the pump a fair bit. 20 minutes, Mo'unga, again, he goes back the other way. Must have been about the 4th time. And he gets a try. He's pretty fleet-footed. He's pretty quick. But it's just too easy. The defense from the Wallabies for that one is poor. He just steps straight through. And he gets the second try of the game. He misses the conversion. And it's 12 points to 0. And then he gets another one not long later. And it's frustrating because a lot of it was just bad play from the Wallabies. They were forcing passes that weren't quite there. Sometimes taking that 50-50 offload that, given the conditions, because it was a bit wet, is not there. Or, you're 12 points down. Maybe you need to go through some phases, just retain position, let your guys recycle the ball. 26 minutes more against the try, like I mentioned. The Wallabies drop the ball. The All Blacks regather it, chip it, and then regather it again. It was a Beauden Barrett kick. It was a Mo'unga pickup. That Beauden Barrett-Mo'unga combo that Ian Foster, not Steve, is fond of. And the All Blacks extend their lead. It gets worse for the Wallabies. Like, you're looking at tries 20 minutes, 26 minutes, 29 minutes. This time it's Coles. It's from a maul. And again, it's just the Wallabies frustrating and the All Blacks just like too good. The All Blacks put a kick through and it's from turnover ball. Wallabies turn the ball over. I think it's maybe Dalgunu's offload that one. There were so many of them, it's hard to keep track. The All Blacks find the space. They kick it down. Lolosio is the guy who has to regather it. The All Blacks guys just swarm him. The guy's under huge pressure for his debut, honestly. And, I mean, he's got to hold on to the ball because if he releases it, the All Blacks are just going to grab it and go over for a try. So he holds on to it. His own supporting players have to come around the corner. They can't get there in time to support him. So the All Blacks win the penalty. They kick it into touch. It's a 5-metre maul. Too easy for Coles right before the half-hour mark. So 26-0. It's not that much slower than a point a minute. Which at a game, I don't know, man. Like, it's Bledisloe 3. It's the Wallabies' best chance in a while to maybe, at home, threaten to challenge for the Bledisloe. And it's 26-0 after about half an hour. All Blacks almost have another try through Mo'unga, but Dane Haylett-Petty manages to get an ankle tap on him. And that's the only thing that stops the All Blacks from going in for like a 4th try in 10 minutes. I thought he just tripped over it first, but it was Dane Haylett-Petty. I missed it, but somebody said in the chat that it was Dane Haylett-Petty that ankle tapped him. So 26-0 at halftime. Not a good look, man. Run meters are 136 to 214 for the All Blacks, so not that bad. Like, that's not terrible reading for the Wallabies. All Blacks have got 66 percent possession in territory, so they got all the pill. But the knock-ons are even, 5 apiece. Now, if you've only got 33% of the ball, you shouldn't be knocking on the ball at the same amount as the other team. You should be less, right? But no, it's the same. Turnovers conceded overall, which includes knock-ons, is 8-6. So the Wallabies have turned over more ball despite only having 33% possession. Again, that's not going to work. Tackling percentages for both sides are actually pretty high. But the All Blacks are at 94% on ESPN. They'd only missed 2 tackles in the first half. That being said, whatever Dave Rennie said at halftime must have worked initially, because the All Blacks tackle count surely dropped a heck of a lot when Jordan Petaia got the ball early on in the second half. I think he beat Goodhue, Mo'unga. He gave Mo'unga a proper don't argue. And Beauden Barrett all in one run. It's Caleb Clark that finally brings him down. But Noah Lolosio, who, to be fair, has not had the best of his debut in that first half. Team's under pressure, and he's the man trying to get them out of jail at points. But it's not often going his way. Like, one of his clearance kicks is a shocker back in that first half. But he gets the try, so good on him for that one. I was kind of hoping that would settle the Wallabies down. I mean, I know I'm an All Blacks fan, but I was still like, I don't want I didn't want it to be that much of a hiding. I know a lot of All Blacks fans just want to like stick the knife in and twist it, but I don't know. I wanted a bit of tension. His conversion shows, because it was a shank wildly wide. Maybe the nerves are still there. Maybe he just mishit it, but at least the Wallabies are on the board. It's 26-5. And yeah, the Wallabies and All Blacks trade a few scrum penalties, and the game just goes scrappy, man. It's knock-ons, it's scrum resets. The second half, for large periods, is pretty poor viewing. Yeah, it's not pretty. There's not a lot to write home about. The All Blacks eventually, on like 59 minutes, opt for a penalty because there's just nothing going on. Nobody can build any phases. It's scrappy. And the weather's not great, as I said. 61 minutes, Lolasio's got a penalty for the Wallabies. It's a good chance for them to attack, kick it down into like the All Blacks 22, 5-10 metre line. He kicks it dead. It's a totally unforced error, as I'm saying. Nerves, maybe. Just skills execution not there for that one. 64 minutes, the Wallabies are close to the All Blacks line. Sam Cane wins a turnover, which is just what he does. Gets the All Blacks out of jail. However, for him, a few minutes later, he has to go off for an HIA, and he doesn't return. Now, we saw him in the post-match. He was interviewed, so he seems all good. But, man, it's disconcerting when you see that guy, because his neck kind of twisted at the same time. He took a head knock, and he's got a history of that, and his neck as well. So, he seems all right, but it was a bit disconcerting. Yeah, as I said, it's scrappy. But the All Blacks find their rhythm in those last few minutes as well to really... Like, the Wallabies, up until this point, are winning the second half, 5 points to 3. But it goes to hell for the Wallabies in those last few minutes because Rico Ioane gets a try on the right wing. It's on the blind side of a scrum. It's just way too easy. Hoskins Tutu off the back of the scrum. He's quick, and Rico ends up with the ball. He still forces the ball the same way he always does, the way he mishandled it a few weeks ago. No change there. So if you were looking to see him score it with two hands, you're out of luck. But yeah, good try from the All Blacks. So it's 36-5. And then only moments later, Jordie Barrett gets one. He gets put through one of those parting the Red Sea moments. I think it's Moonga feeds him the ball. He just goes through a huge gap. Both of the wingers try to, because he's through the middle of the field, both of the wingers try to cut down the distance with him. I think he gets ankle tapped, but it's wet, so he's able to just slide over. 43-5. Frizzell does get yellow carded before full time for a high tackle on Pataya, but man, there was like 20 seconds to go, so there was nothing really going to change. The Wallabies did have a chance at the death. They went through a few phases. Korobedi looked to go over in the quarter, but Jordie Barrett put his own try-saving tackle on. So nothing doing at the death for the Wallabies. 43 points to 5. Yep. Good on the All Blacks, man. I mean, there were large periods in that second half that were pretty ordinary. But the first half, the All Blacks were clinical. They were taking their chances when the Wallabies were just turning over the pill. They had heaps of possession and territory. And then those final few minutes, they brought back a bit of that lethality as well. The Wallabies, man, they'll be frustrated with some of the basic errors. That's the basics that really let the Wallabies down. Run meters 366 to 412, so not that like huge difference. Possession and territory, All Blacks finished with 57% possession, 56% territory. But the second half, because remember it was like 60-30 in the first half, the Wallabies actually had more possession and territory in that second half. They couldn't do a lot with it, but they had it. The turnovers conceded is 17-9, which is almost double, and it's horrendous. That includes 11 knock-ons to the All Blacks 7. I know it's wet, but man, the Wallabies were getting turned over like nobody's business. And also clean breaks, 2 for the Wallabies, 10 by the All Blacks. So that defense, like the tackling stats for the Wallabies is 89%. But if you're getting a clean break, nobody's gotten near you. So it doesn't register. The stat is a bit kind of false in that area. The Wallabies line-out also was not as efficient as the All Blacks with 11 from 13. The All Blacks were 13 from 14. Penalties conceded 11-9, so the Wallabies conceding more, so nothing really went in their favour. overall in the game, and that is reflected with that score on the board. Pitaya finishes with 66 run meters, 3 defenders beaten, and 1 clean break. I would say those 3 defenders beaten are all on that 1 try. Moments where the Wallabies were absolutely cutting the All Blacks were pretty few and far between. 2 clean breaks, like I mentioned, overall for the whole team. Mo'unga had 91 run meters, 3 clean breaks, and 5 defenders beaten. He's probably quietened a few of his critics for this week anyway. Defensively, Whitelock was 8 from 8 tackles. Remember, the All Blacks had to make a lot fewer. They made 88. The Wallabies had to make 110. Michael Hooper made 15 out of 17. But yeah, just too good. The All Blacks, Bledisloe is locked up for another year. Bonus point win for the All Blacks puts them absolutely in the driver's seat for the Tri-Nations 2020. But there's still plenty of games to go, so we'll see how things go for the rest of them. Remember, the Pumas beat the Aussie B team the other day, so hopefully they are not too underdone. But the next game is still these 2 teams anyway, so we'll see if the Wallabies can bounce back. Man, they will need to. Michael Hooper mentioned in the post-match that this really knocked the confidence, because when it was about 26-0, the Wallabies guys were just hands on hips, looking absolutely dejected, and I think they knew at that point the game was gone. So they did well to, if you look on the bright side, to at least compete in the second half, even though it was scrappy, and not let the All Blacks get kind of a, people were talking 57-0, get that kind of scoreline on them, but it's only like 1 level down from there in the end. So yeah, tough night for the Wallabies, but man, those All Blacks are good. What they can do to you if you turn over the ball, man. You give them chances, they can punish you. So yeah, congratulations to the All Blacks guys. Ian Foster, it's another win in his tenure of the All Blacks. So that draw, it's looking like a long time ago now, isn't it? But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the games, key performances, key moments, TMO decisions galore early on. But overall, pretty comprehensive. How do you think this one's going to go next week? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.